Okay, here they are. Here they are. So we had a warning that Sims were throwing up temporary shelters due to a lack of housing, and we now have slums popping up on our roads, which is really cool. That's an interesting mechanic. You know, there is a direct impact on the city if you don't provide enough residential. We kind of have all these like horrible slums looking out over the kind of the dictatorship's palace, right? Hello people, and welcome to City State 2. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And before we do get started today, a huge thank you to you guys. It's because of the love and engagement that you feed my channel that we've been able to get early access to this game. It does release tomorrow, which is the 23rd of September. But either way, just thank you so much to you guys. Over the moon to get early access to something for the first time, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's dive in and test it out together, shall we? City State 2, brand new city simulator. However, it has very heavy political, religious and social structures to the game, which is something City Skylines never touches on. So it should be interesting to see how it affects our cities. There's lots of systems to get to grips with, and we're just going to start out here by creating a brand new nation. So we have geography to choose from. We can go for plains, coastal, peninsula, archipelago, valleys, exotic or custom. It does look like we can import our own height maps, so map makers can rejoice. But yeah, you kind of see how it changes here. And then there's different map presets for each of these three geographies, so decent amount of variation for the base game to launch with. In terms of map settings, so I think we're going to go with, let's have a little look here, shall we? Got some nice rivers. Let's go for a plains, map B. This looks okay. And then we can choose our political culture, so left, centralist or right wing. So we can go population will lean more towards the left side of the political spectrum. Helps with the approval ratings if the governor chooses a socialist or progressive approach. This option does not change the migrant's political affiliation. And then the same here again, but for right wing instead. And then we have some starting settings to adjust. We have our balance, low income, housing demand, retail space demand, and currency value. Okay, so the bonus speeding up each city's contribution to the national treasury. Useful for purchase more lands and build new cities. So from what I understand, the way this is working is we're creating a nation and then each of the tiles is its own individual city. So the game is living up to its name of we are creating a city-state. It's not just one city, right? There's multiple in each of all these tiles and grids. So very interesting. Let's go for a city name. We go for Thessia, alright. And then let's create our new nation. Okay, so here we are. This is our new nation, right? This is what we saw when we started. Nice big river kind of flowing through the land here. And then each of these tiles are purchasable slots of land that we can get involved with, okay? You kind of see them, right? They're everywhere. We can build wherever we want. Very exciting. So welcome, Governor. Here you can switch from a city to another, purchase new lands, transfer cash from the regional fund to any city. Before starting your first city, don't forget to adopt a new flag. So we do have a flag creator in the game, which is really cool. Very excited about this. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so kind of got a whole bunch of presets here, and then some emblems that we can send to left, right, or in the center. Okay, so we can kind of choose a little flag design here. Let's put something together and then we'll see what we think. Okay, I think we'll go with this. This kind of looks pretty evil, right? It's quite dictator-y, I think. Black and red are never good colours, are they? In kind of any establishment, black and red is never good. Okay, so let's go for that one then. We'll create a new flag. We'll go for Thessia's flag. So the first city you establish will be the country's capital, so choose its location carefully. Identify a flat area with enough space to expand, and then we can click the area and purchase. Okay, so we're about to establish the capital of Thessia, which is the country, right? Okay, so let's go for... It'd be nice to see some water, so I think we'll maybe start with this tile over here, maybe somewhere a little flatter. Maybe this side instead. Okay, let's go for this one. So we want to name the city now. Okay, so the nation is called Thessia, so we want a new city name. I think that's how you spell it. Probably not. I'm of course naming all of my stuff after Mass Effect, so just bear with me. Okay, so Sudakesh has a population of 0, has 0 GDP. Then there's low income, middle income, and high income housing, power production, employment rate. Okay, so this is the nation. So the National Treasury, and we're going to transfer 100,000 of it. Yeah, okay. Into Sudakesh. So let's go for that then. Let's start the city up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is pause the game while we have a little look around here and just kind of figure out the game. So we'll leave our little tutorial things up at the start. If you guys want to pause and read them, I have already briefly played the game, so I've kind of got a general idea how it works, but we'll leave the tutorial stuff on for you guys in case you want to just kind of see what pops up. But interesting, right? You know, it just gives us this little tile. Maybe build something nice around this water here, right? It does have a bit of a Minecraft vibe about it, doesn't it? With the blocky terrain. Definitely has Minecraft vibes to it. Okay, so let's start out. Let's get on with it. So WASD, mouse wheel, really standard, basic city sim controls at this point, so we kind of know what we're doing. Okay, so locate a flat area. Let's build some roads. So we're coming to our transport tab and we're greeted with a whole bunch of different roads. There's regular road, avenues with trees, it looks like, highways, underground rail connections, bus stops and airports. So quite a random mix of transport. Again, so just kind of prepare yourself, right? There's going to be a lot of comparisons into cities today, I think. Okay, so it wants us to build 60 tiles of road, which can be done. So let's grab our gravel road. And we're going to come out here, okay? Just drawing a nice big straight road. So this is just our regular gravel. Again, it's going to maintain that kind of blocky lip on the end of it that we saw in a high-rise city. So let's build 60 tiles of road, okay? Let's start bringing out some fairly sensible, I guess, grid patterns, right? I think you're going to have to embrace the grid in this game. So supply and demand, as indicated by the demand bars, hundreds of new citizens are willing and ready to settle in the city. The lighter green bar shows a positive demand for low-income housing. So here are our demand bars. We have low income, middle income, high income, retail, office, basic manufacturing, and advanced manufacturing. Okay, so at the minute we have a whole bunch of demand for low residential. So zone medium density, lots along a road. Place your cursor on a tile beside the road and drag the road alongside it. Okay, so we'll have a little experiment with the zoning technique here. Looks like it's going to auto assign kind of 4 tiles deep, right? Didn't like a zone in there. Maybe that's because it's on the beach. Is that right? So now wants us to do power and water production. So again, we kind of have water towers, water pumping station, a diesel generator. So let's come ahead and perhaps map out some industrial road network to accommodate what you imagine are going to be either loud or pollutive assets, right? This is City Sim 101. We don't want pollution near our sims. Okay, so let's make a little box. And let's throw down some of our diesel. Some of our diesel stuff. So throw this over here. And now we want a water tower as well. So how about we place the water tower near the entrance of the town here, right? So it now wants us to move into creating some commercial, but let's take a little minute to have a look at how the residential zonings are beginning to appear. Okay, not bad. So we can also click on our diesel generator, increase the production rate by, yeah, this is pretty standard stuff, just up the production rate. We can also close it as well, which I'm guessing, yeah, reduces the monthly cost. Doesn't totally get rid of it, only knocks it down to $8, but okay. Okay, so now it's just to build 6 commercial lots, so why don't we grab ourselves perhaps an avenue to come out with here, right? But perhaps this is where we can place a little bit of our commercial. So again, it wants us to do medium density, so let's get a little batch of commercial happening here. So how many do we have there? 5? Let's get one more. Okay. So tax cuts, since they are so important, let's support retailers with some tax cuts. Open the budget panel. We can do that. Okay, and here we set the tax rate for all of our different types of zoning. So it looks like it's going to affect the stability of the region every time we adjust one of these. Okay, so kind of very basic, similar budget management stuff here. So we also have an exchange rate against the US dollar, which is very important. So it looks like we'll have to kind of manage our own currency in the game as well. And then also account for inflation. And there's a whole bunch of expenses down here as well. Really, really basic stuff, right? So it's going to manufacturing again now, so we're just kind of moving through our little lots here, right? How about we fill this out with a little bit of industry over here by the water. So again, no highway connection needed like cities, they will just kind of come in. Alright, and then let's watch some industrial expanse develop on this side now as well. So that lip does go away with zoning. How easy this is to fill in, I guess we'll find out together, right? Okay, but some nice little industrial assets. See one of the Sims walking down here as well. Not bad. So let's reach up a population of 750, right? That's what it wants us to do. Let's come into our transport and more. Continue to perhaps draw out some of these little gravel roads, okay? And maybe introduce the first bit of City-State 2 road against road action by the looks of it. Let's continue to bring that population up. Let's come back into medium density. We do have access to high density right from the start. And they do actually cost money to place down, so I guess we'll just stick with medium density for right now. We are actually losing money, 179, 175, so, you know, we're just going to want to get that population in. Let's go into our borders too. Let's take away this weird little bit of the road. Yeah, so it's all kind of working on a click and drag system, right? You delete everything that's in the drag box, and we'll see what we can do to maybe do a little bit of detailing today. I think that'd be nice, right? So let's start developing some more organic road network to sit around all these zonings here. Doesn't look like these ones on the beach are growing. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because they were kind of red when they came up. Or they don't like building on sand. I guess that would make the most sense, right? I guess that would be okay. Okay, so it just wants us to reach population of 750. Let's just get to zoning, I guess, then, right? Let's continue to develop some more suburban residential designs, trying to remember all the things that we've learnt from cities over the years, right? So just like City Skylines, we have a little news notification thing here at the top, like Chirper. So, home prices skyrocket. The most impoverished citizens are building improvised shelters, which sounds like slums. So I can't really see any at the minute, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Inflation is continuing to rise. Advanced manufacturing crumbles. The middle class suffers. Not enough migrants or babies to fuel the economy. Okay. I didn't know babies fuel the economy. Sounds like throwing them into a furnace. Okay, but the aesthetic of the PL game is quite nice. I'm enjoying myself here. And population's slowly crawling up, right? We're at 634 now. Well, just take a little look at some of the residentials. So this one's upgraded. Okay, nice. Very nice. We can't click on the houses to get some kind of information out of them, but I guess we don't really need it, right? Okay, so now the first government building. Government buildings unlock new policies and new tools to control our country's growth. Headquarters are very special. This building will expand by itself with more population, and with enough active policies, as it can't be destroyed, its location should be chosen judiciously. Okay. So, let's have a look here. So we're coming under government buildings here. Then we have government headquarters. Okay, so we can't relocate this building, so let's see if we can perhaps draw in an extension of this avenue here. Alright. Then maybe develop some kind of corner for it to sit on here, okay? We'll see what we can do. So let's come into that government building again. Let's grab the government headquarters. And then we'll place this right here. So each government building speeds up the growth of the stability index. This indicator directly affects the inflation and approval rates and should ideally stay above 50 points. So at the minute we're at 49% approval with 78 stability. I'm guessing low stability will lead to riots, protests, etc. Policies can change the way the economy operates, the attractivity of our country and how wealth is distributed amongst citizens. They are shared across all cities of the nation, but if you wish you can leave policies aside for now and expand the city by other means, so to skip the next 2 steps. Okay, well let's have a look at some legislation. So there's government, so there's healthcare insurance, unemployment. Let's see if we click on one of these. Okay, so we can set essentially the universal credit here. 12 months they get 75% of their income, or they can get 24 months of fixed universal allowance. And then these directly affect our civil rights, social ladder, and economic freedom values down here in the middle as well. We also have some approval from the left and approval from the right meters to keep our eye on here as well. And then also our political affiliation. Okay, so why don't we give them 50% of their income over 3 months? Let's enact that policy. And this is going to come down into our layers. Okay, let's close this down. So click on the layers button and move the cursor over the education icon. Okay. Okay, so it's going to highlight our residentials to show that they are not well educated. Of course, there's no schools at the minute. So even with a high quality system, it will take time for education level to advance. And then education is central to moving more citizens up the social ladder. Okay. Also just realised we do have a terrain tool here as well, so there is a little bit of terraforming, which is good. So let's go into public services, and then we have an elementary school here as well. Okay. Why don't we throw this down on our high street where all the commercial is, right? Be a nice place to put it. And again, we can click it, and it has a couple of different options here as well. Increase the number of teachers. We can upgrade it, which takes it through, I guess, like a little advanced upgrade stage here. Let's pop our game on 3 speed. There we go. Maybe the animation was a little janky there. I don't think it should have turned blue. But yeah, we can actually upgrade our special buildings. I've seen this as well with some of the other ones. I don't think you can do it with the diesel plant, right? Yeah, not with the diesel plant, but I think with certain buildings here, let's open our plant. I just closed it, actually, didn't I? Yeah, we can actually upgrade them, which I guess is going to increase their reach and effectiveness. So we can take this to level 3 again. We do have the money, so let's just go ahead and do that. So there we go. As opposed to schools, power plants don't need to be extended to increase their capacity. To accommodate the growing population, let's turn on a second power generator. Okay, yeah, and it wants us to just boost up that power, right? And then to continue the tutorial, we need to unlock the immigration settings, and for that the city needs to grow to a population of 2,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and start throwing down some more roads. And bringing in the population. So it doesn't look like it has to be near perfectly aligned for it to snap in, which I guess is sensible, right? You know, we're working with a super grid system here. So kind of first impressions, if you don't like playing with grids, especially from your experience in City Skylines, I can't imagine you'll enjoy this. It is super grid intensive, but the game, I think it's going to shine elsewhere, right? It's going to really shine with its political and class systems. So we'll enjoy our first nighttime tour around Syrakash now, right? Okay, got some little commercial plazas here. City still seems fairly quiet for a population of 1,000, but it's not bad looking, right? It's not bad looking. We're slowly growing up. Let's pop our game on 3 speed. Okay, we are still losing money, which is a little bit of a concern. So let's have a look at that budget. And then maybe we want to pop the tax rate up a little bit here. See if we can bring a little more money in. But of course we're going to actually lose approval. So we'll just kind of have to spend a little bit of time with the game and see how all these systems start to play out and into each other as to whether or not they're kind of heavily game changing and game breaking, right? We'll want to just spend a bit of time with it, see what we think. So we'll start expanding some really basic residential grids, which is what we're going to be doing a lot in this game, I imagine. Like I've placed a random bit of road there, have I? There we go, yeah, I have. Just delete that. There we go. Take away these trees too, just so we can see what we're doing a little easier. And then we'll continue to bring in. Can we maybe play with a little bit of high density residential and see what happens here instead. Will it give us towers, I wonder? No, so they don't seem to be tied in with the height of the building. I'm guessing it's just how many they hold. Okay. Not bad. See if I get on 3 speed. We do want to hit this 2,000 population marker. We do have some options here as well for, come off of this road tool. For some parks, which I'm very interested to see how these function. But first of all, we want to have a look at the immigration office, so let's come back into our government buildings. Then we're going to grab the Department of Immigration, which unlocks border policies. Very interesting indeed. So why don't we throw this over by... okay, here they are, here they are. So we had a warning that Sims were throwing up temporary shelters due to a lack of housing, and we now have slums popping up on our roads, which is really cool. That's an interesting mechanic. You know, there is a direct impact on the city if you don't provide enough residential. We kind of have all these like horrible slums looking out over the kind of the dictatorship's palace, right? We should have some fun in this game, I think. I think we should have some fun. So let's come back into government buildings, and we're going to go for the Department of Immigration. And let's how about we make like a little government complex around the back of the main government building. Let's see if we can do that. Let's bring it down here. So area occupied, is that because there was a little slum there? Can't look like it was, but we'll see what happens, alright? Let's go into that government building again. So let's place this here, and let's see what we think. Okay, so we now have the Department of Immigration. We can do fictitious jobs. Okay. So open the gates, but not too much. A large influx of migrants could put a strain on the housing market and drive families to move into slums. When our education and health systems improve, the city will attract wealthier migrants. For now, set the border policy with the least advanced nations to 80%, or as high as you feel like it. Okay, so let's come into border control. Okay, so the game's advising me move up to 80% or higher. So let's go for perhaps 90%, okay? See what happens there. So let's build a place of worship. Let's see. Let's see what's happening. So we have a church, a mosque, or a pagoda. So I'm guessing we're going into either Christianity, Islam, or I guess that would be associated with Buddhism. Unsure. Please excuse my ignorance in the comments if that's not correct. Okay, let's chuck a church down over here. Oh, look at our little suburbs now. Cute little crane animation as well. That's nice. Okay, let's throw a church on the corner. It wants us to upgrade the school, which I've already done in my eagerness to play. So before we move to the last part of the tutorial, let's make our town a bit bigger in the meantime. Yeah, so we want to reach a population of 4,000 now, which is what we'll do next. But it's already growing, isn't it? Traffic's kind of nice flowing around. Not sure how much kind of traffic management there will be in this game. Can't imagine it's overly fleshed out with it only being grids, but we'll see what happens. Right, I'm guessing the road hierarchy is going to be quite important to play with. So it's a little weird how it connects in here. Maybe I'm just not particularly reading this right. Let's see if we can maybe just amend this intersection a little bit so we're flowing straight out. There we go. That seems to work a little bit better, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. And then we should just be able to grab our roads back in, yeah, and then it'll auto create our intersection for us. Okay. Nice. So let's continue to zone up. Let's keep getting these people in, right? Gotta go for high density. And we'll see what we can do. We are gradually making more and more money each turn, so let's also have a look at some more legislation as well. So there's healthcare insurance here as well, where we have the option to optional and private funded only, compulsory private funded plan, compulsory public private funded plan, and then compulsory public plan. Okay, and we can just see as we switch on these, each one of them shifts all the social ladder, civil rights, and the approval from the left and the right wing people. So it's all just balancing, right? You know, if you want to kind of go very fascist dictatorship, you would lean into all the policies that go to the far right, and likewise if you want a kind of socialist utopia, then you would lean very far left. So it's all kind of up to you which one you want to go for. I'm thinking kind of maybe going more dictator vibes, just for the fun of it, just to see what it's like to be a dictator, because I think it's kind of fun to always explore the evil side, right? Especially for those that watch the Mass Effect streams. We'll be okay. Okay, so let's do something that's going to give us approval from the right then. If we're going to start maybe heading a little more dictatory, let's start moving a little bit right wing. Okay, but all these are upgrading now. Our high street's certainly changing, isn't it? It certainly is. And we do have a little bit of demand for some office, so let's have a look at where that might be. Is it under industrial? We also have a demand for advanced manufacturing too. Okay, so let's continue to draw out with these roads here, so we can satisfy this office demand here, which I'm guessing is going to be satisfied with commercial. So let's maybe bring in a touch of that along this side of the street as well. Doesn't look like we have the option to place it in here, there's not really enough room. Okay, so we now have water shortage. The city's development is disrupted by insufficient water production. So again, we're just going to want to maybe come in and let's just check our existing water tower. Yeah, there's no option to add another pump or turn another one, so we'll place in another water tower here as well. Let's maybe come down just straight opposite the other one. Okay, so again, still a whole bunch of demand for industry. So let's continue to map out here, shall we? Let's maybe, might as well stick to these gravel roads, right? They seem to be doing the trick for us. So we'll stick with them for now. Maybe try changing up some angles here, make it look a little more interesting. This looks a lot more industrial now, right? Yeah, kind of getting some factories, some nice chimneys here as well. Okay, so we do have some power outages, so again we can turn on our layers and have a look at power usage. Okay, so we've already turned on another generator in here, haven't we? We come off of our zoning tools. Yeah, so we have the most amount of generators active now. So let's throw down another power plant then, it's probably going to be sensible, right? So there's solar farm, coal and nuclear available from the start of the game, obviously more expensive and increasing the production rate as they go up, of course. Let's go ahead and throw down another diesel generator somewhere over here, hopefully. Let's see where we can maybe come up. Let's have a little look at the terrain tools. Let's come into raised terrain. Okay, yeah, so you can kind of see how it works here, right? We're just raising up little sections, which bring it flush with the road. And that's a little bit nicer, isn't it? Okay. Just delete our road if we do that, though. It's not particularly good. There we go. That's fine. Does take a little while to get used to a new system, right? But we'll play it together. Okay, so that's fixed our power issue. So we have idle and saddened teachers facing empty classrooms. We're very nearly at 4,000 population. So let's throw the game on 3 speed and hit that next milestone. So approval ratings. In smaller cities just like ours, the approval ratings do not matter much yet. But in approaching 10,000 and then 20,000 inhabitants, these ratings will begin to play a bigger role. To prevent the risk of riot as much as possible, knowing how to satisfy the citizens is essential. So satisfying the plebeians, since they have few priorities in common, the approval differs from left-wing to right-wing citizens. The weight of each group depends on the citizens' political affiliations. Depending on chosen policies and origin of migrants, the affiliations will evolve. It should be noted that approval ratings are only related to riots and does not affect the economy. Okay, and then unemployment rate can have harmful effects on the economy. Too low, businesses will go bankrupt. Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, increase the tax rates and open the borders. Too high and migrants will stop to arrive. People will get poorer. In that case, lower the retail tax. And the economy evolves slowly. Okay, and then there's land value as well. Let's have a look at our stats. So we get a breakdown of our social ladder here. We can also come into our economy. And then our approval as well. It looks like we have some ratings here on the likelihood of a protest starting out. And then we also have our government types down here as well, where we can move into those kind of dictatorships into the far right. Or you can play a fairly centralist city, or go very left wing, and then kind of get into some liberal and socialist vibes if that's what you're after. So really interesting mechanics to dive into here, really interesting. I just saw a traffic stat there as well, traffic congestion 25%. Okay, so it looks like there is something to factor in with the traffic system. Okay, so he wants us to build an airport now, which is... seems a little soon, I will admit, but we'll see what we can do here, okay? Let's go ahead and draw in an extension of this avenue out here again, okay? So the population of the city and the nation grows, new buildings will become available, while government facilities can unlock new policies. Reward buildings offer remarkable bonuses, and once available, have to be manually researched to be unlocked. Okay, so we have some special buildings to research. So there's a government headquarters, which wants 25,000 national population, and 2 enacted policies to progress. We of course have the Department of Immigration, and there's commerce, social affairs, a central bank, which unlocks foreign currency. So there's capital buildings, some super green cities looking things over here, universities, social state social media, at least 90. Okay, so there's loads of stuff to get involved with here with how the kind of the social classes affect, right? And then again, the airport can be upgraded to change its appearance. So to support other cities of the nation or create new ones, a certain amount of your income is sent to the national fund. And this contribution can be set up in the budget window. Okay, so we can change that here. The national contribution is over here, right? So this will send it to Thessia, which is kind of the overarching country that governs this city, if that makes sense. Okay guys, so that is the end of the tutorial for City-State 2. Quite an interesting take on the city sim. It looks like the social, religious and economic classes here are going to play a much more important role as opposed to something like anything that we've played before, like City Skylines. You can see here as we refuse to meet housing demand, we're starting to get slums pop up. So it looks like the city will be a lot more active, and there's definitely protests in this game as well. You know, we'll get protesters if we go too far right and become too much of a dictatorship. So there's lots and lots to explore here, and it seems really interesting. This has been made by one dude, a guy called Andy Zark, I think his name is. Crazy for one guy to put all of these assets and systems together and have them work around and complement the other. Really fantastic achievement for a one-man development team. I will leave this linked down on Steam if you want to go and grab the game tomorrow, which is the 23rd, or today, whenever this video goes out. Go give it a try. It's definitely interesting, and I think we'll definitely do more of it on the channel. But do let me know if you guys want more of this by liking and commenting. That is how I gauge what content you guys do and don't enjoy. But we'll definitely do more videos on this. We'll definitely carry on growing. And hopefully not going bankrupt, so we're very nearly down. But yeah, there's lots to explore. But let me know what you think of this, guys, down in the comments below. But otherwise, I will shut up and leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.